Why are you wearing black, Satirius?
Why are you wearing black, Josh?
Because my heart speaks black tongue.
Dear God. Welcome back to the Gentleman's Sitdown. We are an untraditional podcast.
I'm trying to be traditional, gentlemen.
Yeah, I am Satirius Limitius. And you?
I am Joshua Callahan.
Nice. Every story you read, there's a great hero in it, usually, right?
My story, the stories I like to read, I agree.
Yeah.
There's a protagonist
And then,
and antagonist.
and that's usually...
Usually the aunt of the protagonist. No, it's not how that goes.
No. Before we get into our topic, remember to like, subscribe, follow, hit a notification bell if there is one.
Share with somebody.
Share it around. Yeah. All
Spread
right?
the love.
But only do this if you like it. If you don't like it, fuck off, I guess.
Seriously, what are you doing? Trolling?
But
Trolls
yeah.
can be villains.
Exactly. And it's funny you say that because it's trolls are in fantasies, right? Majority of the time, you know.
Well, some trolls in real life, but
well, yeah. But my favorite fictional villain is in a fantasy. But let's talk about
the topic.
Well, yeah, the topic. But let's talk about what is our personal like villains checklist that makes us feel like, oh yeah, this guy's a real threat. This guy's a villain. This guy's the antagonist. This is one of my favorite antagonists. I enjoyed, hated him. I hated him so much that I loved him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think some kind of deformity. I'm kidding.
Oh.
I hate when they do the tropes.
Yeah.
Wear the black hat, you know. What I want in a villain, to answer your question, when I'm reading a story, I want to understand and kind of get the villain. It's scarier when you can relate to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when our hero or our protagonist, you know, is similar to the villain, so close. They're like foibles. They're like mirror images, but they're the yin and yang. They're the opposite. You know, I like red. I like blue. And they fight. It's kind of a dull answer to your question, but it's kind of what I look for. I want the relationship to be understandable. I want it to be real, and I want them to challenge the hero, make it difficult for the hero to accomplish. I don't necessarily want to hate them, you know? I think some villains you get afraid of, like, you know, you got like a Hannibal Lecter. Like, he's so smart. I don't want them to be stupid, just bullies.
Yeah.
They have that bully nature, but the biggest villains are the ones that can, like, outwit our hero and get under their skin and, you know, challenge them to become better, to become a better hero.
What characteristics do you normally like to find in a villain or an antagonist?
Smart, witty, of a singular purpose. Like, in other words, they are
goal-oriented.
Yeah, like ambitious to a fault.
Yeah.
And they won't let anything get in their way. But then there's the scary villain, which is so unpredictable, like a Joker.
Yeah.
And it just,
but he
like,
falls.
You don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he falls what?
He falls into all those categories you'd said, all those characteristics.
Yeah.
He's still smart, witty, and goal-oriented.
Yeah, throw it back to you.
Throw it back to me?
Yeah. What do you think? What are your characteristics of a villain? A proper... Is it scary? Do you want to be scared? Do you want to be threatened?
I want to be here's the thing.
It's not necessary for me, but
Because if I say I want to be scared or threatened, like it's a blanket statement. There's a certain way I want a villain to be that actually makes me terrified, and terrified, quote unquote. Like I feel like, okay, my protagonist that I'm following and rooting for, they have a huge challenge before them. You know?
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa.
What?
Take it easy with that
What are you
face.
talking about with my face?
This
It's my
guy-
face. I was born with it. I can't control it.
This guy made a face when I said huge. All right. I don't know what he was thinking.
They're watching a huge ego. I don't know. Huge purpose.
But yeah, so what I look for is very similar. I want a villain that's intelligent. They don't need to be hyper intelligent. You know, like some like, you know, the Batman villains kind of like, they're like, oh, we're hyper intelligent geniuses, you know, like a I don't know, like
they throw out these words and you can't, you know, like these science words or whatever, and they're like
they have like super high, like higher than Stephen Hawking IQs.
Yeah, that's why I was like saying witty or crafty, I guess.
Yeah.
But smart.
Yeah. I don't need a villain to be
legitimate.
that genius, but I need a villain that's intelligent.
Yeah.
They're like self-aware. They're aware of their faults. They're aware of their weaknesses, and then they somehow transform those things into strengths. I also like villains that, like, same thing. They have a purpose, you know, and their purpose is one thing, and they're aiming for that. I also like a villain who sees their purpose, and they look at it right there. They look at it, and they don't care of the means to get to the ends. They just want to get to the end.
Yeah. Like I think of the T-1000 from Terminator, written down, and the Xenomorph maybe from Alien. Like these are like inanimate kind of villains. They're the antagonist. They're not villain. They don't know themselves as villains. They're just doing their nature, and they're legitimately scary. The T-1000 is targeting something, will do whatever it takes to get it till the end. And that's frightening. It's frightening. It's super smart, but smart to a fault because it can't be imaginative. The hero wins out by using their imagination against it and
like
being smarty. What?
Yeah,
Yeah. Right? I mean, do you... So those are good villains and good antagonists. They're not my favorite because I can't see myself become one.
Yeah.
I don't never see myself as a villain, but I always am careful to think, do people think I'm bad? I think of that, like, you know, looking glass self. Like, how do other people perceive me? You know, I'm just trying to get my job done. Do people not like me at work when I try to get my job done at work? Or in my family, if I say something that's an opinion, I'm just saying my opinion. Do you not like me because of my... Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
So, and villains do it, like proper fictional villains will do it to an nth degree. You know, the next level.
Yeah.
Dastard.
Yeah. So now that we got the characteristics set in place, who, if you had to pick one, who would be your favorite villain and/or / antagonist?
I think about Sauron and Voldemort. But let me just tell you, age-old archetypal villain. I mentioned Hannibal Lecter, though good. I'm going to have to land on Darth Vader.
It's a good choice.
Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
I have to, because every time I go back, I don't know, in my childhood and in my adulthood, that iconic villain. And though I think the prequels kind of softened him a little bit, I have to admit, the first introduction till his final comeuppance and like retribution, classic. What about you? I'm dying to hear. Did we land on the same one? No, it's different.
No, it's very different. Mine's
I know
not
who you're thinking.
Yeah, everything I already told you. But
Scar from Lion King.
No. Lion King's great, but no, it wasn't Sky.
It's Hamlet.
Yeah.
Claudius.
So yeah.
Sloth from Goonies.
My guy isn't. He's not necessarily a villain, but he is an antagonist,
Mhm.
and he goes by the name of Tywin Lannister.
Oh, I knew it. I was just thinking. I was thinking about. I'll let you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. Game of Thrones. You have Joffrey as a clear villain, right? They set him up, but who's the villain? You're the heroes. You see as the story progresses, the good people become bad people, and vice versa. Like no one, I don't think, really landed on, spoiler alert, the friggin' Mother of Dragons being a villain, because she was setting herself up to be the hero of the story. I know that you have a soft spot in your heart for Tywin Lannister.
Yeah. But
Do you see in him what you could, or if you had the powers and abilities that he had, like you were a leader of a nation, that you could run your nation a similar way?
Well, let me explain why I picked him.
Go ahead.
So I picked him because he's a real human being, and he has real. I can relate to his wants. Like he's very family oriented, you know, and he has goals. He wants to leave this legacy. He wants to fulfill this kind of family duty / destiny of making his family respected and powerful and have a long lasting legacy. And he wants that legacy to also be tied to the rulers of the entire Seven Kingdoms, you know. So he's not like a villain. Like he's not inherently evil, in my opinion. He just he's willing to do whatever's necessary to meet his ends.
Yeah.
So that's what makes him evil, quote unquote. It makes him evil because he's only thinking of his ends. He's not thinking of anyone else's ends. He's thinking of his ends. How does this end well for me, my family, my kingdom, you know, my power, you know? How does it end well for me? He does what's best for him, and he plays his game, and he's extremely intelligent. Okay? I don't think he's a genius.
He could be a tactical mastermind.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's very politically sound. But I don't know. He plays, like, it's called the Game of Thrones, right? I'm talking more book Tywin too. Like more towards the books.
Yeah.
I like him better than TV show Tywin.
The actor who played him was really good.
Yeah, he did really amazing. Yeah. But the books was just, I don't know. His story is just better. Like he had this whole relationship with the Mad King. Like they were best friends for like 20 years, and then the Mad King starts going mad, and there starts to be a drift in their friendship. But and it has a lot to do with the Mad King's jealousy towards Tywin, because Tywin was ruling the Seven Kingdoms so well as the hand of the king, because everybody made and Tywin was so good at it, everybody started to make jokes like, oh, the Mad, well, they didn't say it, but they said Ares sits on the throne, but Tywin rules the realm, or whatever, you know, something like that. And I don't know.
What do you think about the way he fell or went down or died or bit it?
What at the end of his story? I think.
Do you think it was poetic? Do you think it was
I
poetic
think
justice?
It was poetic justice for Tyrion. Tywin had it coming, you know,
especially from him,
especially from Tyrion. Yeah. And it showcased his personality, because Tyrion found him in bed with a whore, and one of the whores, you know, the one that he fell in love with, and then, you know, strangles her, then kills him. Like it showcases his facade the whole time. Like he has this image that he wants the realm to see.
Yeah.
You know, and he plays to that image extremely well. That's why people say he never laughs, he never smiles, you know, but then, you know, that's probably not true. Like he probably laughed and smiled a lot, but he never let just anyone see it. He was very like meticulous on what he was viewed as, because he knew his image would conjure up fear, and he wanted people to either fear or respect him. He wanted people to know he wanted people to take him seriously whenever he stepped into a room. So he had this very well crafted and masterly, executed image. And that's why his end is kind of poetic too, because it's like the destabilization of his image. It's like, oh, here's the true colors. He was this fake guy. He's not fake, but like he was just, there was always another side of him that he was so smart to not let anyone see.
He got an arrow on the crapper.
Yeah, he got an arrow on the crapper after fucking a whore. Yeah.
Who's the real whore?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, listen, like, I think that's an excellent choice. I think because, I don't know. I think about the fictional one, like from books that I read, you get to spend more time with them, right? With the villains and the antagonists of those stories. Mm-hmm. And I thought of Sauron, but he's more of a specter. He just lingers and he's an eye. It's kind of all powerful. It's not really tangible, but he permeates so much. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the fear. He could be anywhere, but it's just like, then you have the ring wraiths and then you have Gollum and you're your own worst enemy, that kind of temptation. So it was a lot going on in that story, which was excellently executed, right? Yeah. Then you have like, I said I was thinking of Voldemort, but he was like typical. It's like, of course he's going to be the villain, but this idea of legacy and wanting to live forever and puts himself in Horcruxes, and that's how he becomes powerful. Mm-hmm. And then the way they tell the story of him going through school, and that was his journey on one side of the school, and then Harry's journey on the other side, and they kind of cancel each other out. So it was always interesting to me. Yeah. But Vader, there was a bigger villain in Palpatine that existed, but as, like you say, like the hand maybe, or just as the blunt object, he was also smart in his own right and powerful in his own right. And he led the fear like throughout the storyline like in the original Star Wars, you never really see him be the sword master that he's supposed to be. They didn't have the budget or whatever, but was still able to kill it. Like, what I'm saying? And like this use of the Force and the dark side. And come on, James Earl Jones as his voice. Like, you can't get...
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
And we're going to see more, I guess, and it's still like...
And Kenobi.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. And
interesting. But the thing is about Vader is Vader probably could have ran the Empire by himself.
Yeah.
He could have definitely done it. And you knew that he could have done it. That's why he was always saying to his son, he was always telling Luke, join me and we can overthrow the Emperor and we could rule the galaxy together as father and son. Like he knew he could do it.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of lore in Star Wars about how, like, after the battle, like George Lucas said, like Anakin only reaches like 80% of his power as Darth Vader. He never could reach his full 100%.
Because of his cyborgness?
Because the burning of his body and the loss of his limbs, like it made him disconnect from the Force more.
Yeah.
But he's so powerful, and he was so obsessed with his training that he actually pushed beyond all the boundaries he should have not been able to push past, and got himself to 80% of his full power.
But that was still challenges a whole
Well, that was extreme.
Like a whole fucking galaxy.
Yeah.
Like that 80% of his ability scared and frightened the whole galaxy.
Yeah, it dominated the whole galaxy. The only thing is
what?
But that's what kept,
like, to see Voldemort challenge a galaxy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hannibal Lecter, it's gonna eat people.
But that's the thing, and that's what kind of kept what's his face?
Tywin?
Palpatine and Sidious. Palpatine / Sidious, the same.
Do you think Tywin would have been able to beat Vader tactically? Hey, no, I don't mean to say like let's have a rival. It's just a question.
I don't see.
I like to
Tywin. If Tywin was put in the Star Wars world, he'd be Grand Moff Tarkin.
Ah.
Yeah.
He reminds me of like Count Dooku, the Christopher Lee character from the prequels.
Yeah, it could
But
be
who's
Dooku,
Moff
too.
Tarkin? Who's Grand?
Grand Moff Tarkin was the guy who was in charge of the first Death Star.
Oh,
And, yeah.
oh, they look like the same actors
They
too.
look similar.
Yeah, those Brits.
His breath.
I say that with love. Excellent actors.
I could talk all day on Tywin because Tywin also has
It's an
like
excellent name. too.
real, yeah. He also has like real emotions. Like you have real love for your family. You also have real hatred for your family. Anybody can relate to him
Yeah.
because he hated his father, and he loved his children. He loved his
He
wife.
hated it. He fought with his children.
He
Too.
did. No,
he
it-
loved hate. It's
well,
like love is so close to
He
hate.
fought his children
He
because he
didn't
was
hate.
disappointed with them because he expected more from them because but you could also see like Tywin expected more for them because he had his own selfish desires for their future because he was thinking about the family. That's why every time he spoke to them, it's like, it's about the family name, the Lannisters. You are a Lannister. Like,
He definitely brings the themes like in the books, and we don't know how, Martin's gonna finish his book story,
Right, yeah.
right? Like we get the the Game of
might-
Thrones from the show
Yeah.
ending, and you land on Tywin and you see Tyrion win, then okay, so Tyrion's the hero because that was clearly a villain, bad guy, but he still leaves these question marks. Martin does, like
Mhm.
I mean, that's how Tywin dies in the book, but the theme that Tywin, the bad themes, the theme of leading to a fault is gonna carry on.
He also, it's like he's masterfully written because Tywin literally is the perfect ruler. But the perfect ruler was always glorified and
He's like
viewed.
a Putin.
No, hold on a second. Right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
The perfect ruler is always like glorified and viewed as like the hero and like the epitome of what a ruler should be, and like he's good to his people and stuff like that. I mean, Tywin technically falls under all those categories, but when you get to know him personally and you get closer to him, that, and like and especially after seeing his end, like, okay,
He's drunk with power.
he's got, well, I don't know about drunk with power, but he's a guy. He's not a good guy. He's not what you would expect. He's not a hero. He doesn't have a hero's personality. He doesn't, he doesn't really have empathy the way a hero would have empathy.
But it's like what you said. He's doing everything for his name.
Yeah.
That's it. For his name.
For his goals. He has that goal.
Not his city, not his. He does want it to win. Maybe there's a time where he saw how it could benefit many people, his fight, his actions.
Yeah.
But then it came to, nope, we're just protecting this family.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's what makes Vader scary. Well, one, because Vader has this phenomenal cosmic power.
Itty bitty helmet. No.
Yeah, itty bitty helmet. But also because Vader has that same kind of like image and presence, but he lives it. That's the difference between Tywin and Vader. Vader actually lives that presence. Tywin is just an image, mostly, not mostly, partly. I think Tywin is mostly his image, but not entirely his image. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Vader is all his image. Vader is like whatever
This
they
is
say about him.
visage of evil. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever they say about him, that is him. He is that. That's who Vader is. That's his personality. That's what makes him fearful. Tywin, you fear Tywin because he can't. He's the one guy that you could actually fear losing to. You could lose to this guy. Like, this guy will beat you. If you make one small mistake, this guy beats you. This guy wins. You can't
He'll
foul up.
exploit it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't foul up. You can't mess up. This guy's like, he's on you at all times. If you're gonna fight with him, he's with you every second of the way. Vader will overwhelm you. Tywin will outwit
Vader
you.
will throat pinch you
Well, yeah.
from afar.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna get there. I'm not gonna stand up right now. You're dead.
Yeah. I think I don't know. You think we covered it? I think we covered. I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
think? You want to talk? What was it? You want to talk more? You want to talk less?
Yeah, no, I could always talk about this. You telling me, you
Yeah,
kidding me?
yeah.
This is like every story that you love has to have a good villain.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, we play it heroes and villains, and there's some people that love to play the villain. They
Yeah.
love to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
I have grew up playing lightsabers with sticks, and I wasn't necessarily playing Luke. I wanted to play a Jedi,
Yeah.
but the other person always wanted to play Vader, not Dark Jet. They wanted to play Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like easy. You got issues, some subscriptions to issues, but I'm telling you, a good villain can make a good story.
Good villain's a good
Who's your
story.
favorite villain? Who do you like to?
Yeah.
Who do you like to hate?
What's your favorite
to be afraid of?
antagonist?
Yeah.
Who makes you? Who gives you goosebumps every time they walk in the room and they're about to beat your hero?
Yeah.
Boom. I think we covered it.
I think we covered it.
Yeah.
We did it.
If you liked it, hit the follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the links in the descriptions for social medias, all that stuff.
Touch it. Poke
Yeah,
it.
share with a friend.
it.
Share it.
Flip it.
Leave a comment. Get involved.
Yeah.
Right now, we have our friend Iris Vistas. He's the only one leaving a comment. If you want to get a shout out, leave a damn comment. All right? Come on.
Come on, get with it.
Yeah.
Don't be the villain of your story.
Yeah, be the hero. I've been Soterius Lemitius.
I've been Joshua Callahan.
We have been the Gentleman's Sit Down. We hope you have a wonderful week. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.